and share my screen and we will start. Okay, we're going to do this one. And we don't have any audio to share, so we should be good just right there. Okay. Whenever I do this, it is so stupid. It always moves you guys. It throws you on a different screen. It's really annoying. All right, so let's get rolling. Hey guys, welcome to today's workshop. My name is Sam Carlson. I'm super excited to see you, and I want to say, of course, welcome. All right, a big thanks to all of you guys who showed up as live participants. I understand that you're taking time away from whatever it is you're doing to come, but I want you to win big. So the best way for you guys to win, you guys want to know what the best way for you guys to win is? Engage. Like really, I don't do webinar style where it's just me seeing me. I want to see you guys. I want you to engage. So grab the chat and give me at least a one in the chat if you're ready to get going. Drop them in there. Let's make sure you guys are moving and you guys are excited. All right, there comes the ones. All right. Also, I'm doing something a little bit different today. I haven't done this before. Okay. My very top engager, and I'm going to do it subjectively. So whoever, I guess, subjectively impresses me the most is going to get some swag. You guys, I've never given away UpHex swag. Did you guys know we even had a UpHex swag store? We got the gangster of ads. We got create once, sell 1,000 times. We got team UpHex. We got simple sells and scales. We've got UpHex, and then we've got UpHex royalty. These are just some fun designs that I put together with AI, right? Pretty dope. I'm wearing the royalty, right? This is my favorite shirt. We got the Biggie inspired crown. And so my top engager today, you're going to get some swag, which I think is kind of a fun thing. And before we get too far into this, for those of you who are new to this whole community, to everything, my name is Sam Carlson. I've been in the agency space for 10 years, okay, quite a while. Done a fair share of my own accomplishments, including having a published case study by Facebook. So my agency in 2018 had a published case book by, or a published case study rather, by Facebook. And that was kind of like a pivotal moment for me. It is what, in fact, brought me together for you guys here today. Were there no case study, there would have been no UpHex, right? And I am one of the co-founders of UpHex and also the co-founder of Agency MVP. Any MVPers in the house? We got any MVPers? There's James. We got Aaron. We got EB. What's up, buddy? How you doing? All right, awesome. We got Lonnie, I see. And so it's an awesome program, which you'll hear some about as well today. And then the thing I'm most proud of, and the thing I think we can all agree is I am a husband and father first. So that's a little bit about me, who your host is today. So if you guys are here for the first time, let me know. Drop a 1 in the comment. Is this your first UpHex workshop, or a 2 if you've been to them before? Martin, this is your first. All right, Carl, Carlene. Okay, hey, we got a good mix of everything. This is gonna be fun. All right. By way of the framing of who we are and what we're going to be doing today, just to let you guys know what UpHex is. This is the last part of the introduction. Then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes. UpHex is a way to make a ton more money in your agency. You can instantly bolt on a profitable Facebook and Google ad agency onto your high level. You let clients run the ads. You build monthly recurring revenue. We've done it. Thousands of other agencies have done it. So we can help you guys do it as well. So who's ready to get rolling? Give me one in the chat. Give me a high five. Oh, Christian, what's up? Christian is leading the swag competition right now, you guys. Just so everybody knows, he gave me a fist pump. All right, let's get started. How to ditch free trials and double sales with the free delivery method instead. I know that's why you guys are here. You guys are here to learn about free delivery. Make sure, that's why you're here, right? Drop a 1 in the comment or in the chat if that is why you are here, or maybe some of you are like, well, I was here for something else. Okay, all right, cool. Here we go. Now, let's start here. We're gonna start with where many people are at today. I wanna know from you guys, have you ever felt like you're begging people to become your customers? Have you ever felt like that? Yeah? 100%, yes? Okay, well, that is not a good feeling. We don't like to feel in that position. But what's even worse is when people do start, and then we start to get these, like, we get super excited because, okay, they decided to start the free trial. But then what happens? well, we're still thinking about it, let us get back to you. Let's just keep doing this for free because we didn't like revolutionize our business in the first 14 days. So let's just get back to you as soon as, we see these things. Dude, or let me talk to my partner, get ghosted. This is a huge, huge trap. It sucks. I know you guys hate it. And for a long time, you guys have had really no other recourse. Nobody teaches what to do instead of a trial, especially if you're new, right? Once you get established and you have a track record and people know you and they, they know your content, they don't really need a free trial like that anymore. But when you're getting started and you're trying to get those first, dozen or so clients, it really feels like this is the thing. And what you don't know, if you're new to using free trials, what you don't know is that you're attracting the freebies. You're attracting the worst kind of customers, people who have no skin in the game. And because of that, people who perceive that your product, your service, your agency has very low perceived value. You become a Me Too marketer. You become an option that I can shop. Not good. This is the current position. This is why free trials are such a big challenge. Not to mention hidden costs. Okay. You guys, I mean, at the end of the day, when you offer a free trial, you absorb all the risk, cost risk, whatever it is. The low status, okay, you're not positioning yourself as a partner to that business. You are positioning yourself as just another vendor. That's not good. You are disposable. Okay. You are shoppable. And by doing this, they become, and it's kind of weird because it just leads into them being very hard to close later on in that transaction. No skin in the game. Here's why. Free trials sell access, but access does not equal value. Okay? Say it with me. Access does not equal value. By the way, when you see me drift over here, it's because you guys are over here and my presentation is over there. Okay? So I'll try and keep focus on the presentation mostly. On the other hand, what they really want, every business, what they truly want is they want results. They want very specific outcomes. Okay. That's what clients want. So when you are framing your sales call, everything you're doing around a free trial, what are you really telling them? You'll give them access and you're desperate. That's what you're telling them. That's what you're saying. There's words, and then you know how people say read between the lines? That's what is said between the lines. Okay? That is what is said between the lines. So what do we do to fix this? This is, by the way, I'm going to show you a very tactical approach to doing this. Okay? Just so we're all on the same page. We're not going to be all pie in the sky, just theory. I'm going to show you a very tactical way to do this. But I will tell you, this is all psychological. This is human psychology 101. All right? Because all we have to do to fix this is reframe it from access and desperation to results and outcomes. Okay? This is all psychology. Now, so we're going to do an experiment right now. And I haven't got a top engager yet. This is just Chris. Well, okay, you know what? You guys are engaging in the chat. I shouldn't not give you credit for doing that. I don't want you to unmute and get crazy. All right. This is the first psychological experiment we're going to do together. You guys ready for this? I'm going to ask you a question. What is the difference between a salesperson and an advisor? What's the difference? Drop it in the comments. I want to see these answers flying in. Ideal. Oh, and some people are messaging me directly. Drop it into the everyone chat, if you could. Value, okay. And I guess it's kind of like a lull, right? Because I'm asking you to write a lot of stuff. But I can't wait to see guidance. Salesperson takes, advisor gives. That's really good. And man, now they're starting to really come in. You guys must have all been typing at the exact same time. Tracking. Let me get a little bit more tactical, a little bit more specific, and narrow down the behaviors of each. All right. So the salesperson gives away free trials. The salesperson hopes for conversions. The salesperson appears and seems like you sense the desperation. And the salesperson person focuses on access. Okay. An advisor, on the other hand, delivers proof, leans on proof, gets paid for results, projects confidence, and focuses all of their discussions, everything on outcomes. This is psychological. Which would you rather be? Let me know. What do you want to be? You want to be a salesperson, or do you want to be positioned as an advisor? It's kind of a leading question, right? There we go. Somebody's going to say salesperson just to be a smartass. It's okay. I don't care. I like smartasses too. All right. So obviously the advisor, good. Advisors get paid differently. The advisor gets paid for delivering results. Instead of chasing, the advisor proves their value, and the client gladly will pay to keep winning. Advisors do not offer free trials. Okay, that is the old way. After today, you guys are going to get very comfortable positioning yourselves in a different fashion. Okay, the new way is you're going to make agreements and deals that anchor you to outcomes, okay, that you can deliver for the client. Here's a reason why this works. When you anchor your conversations this way, again, we're talking about psychology. When we are focusing on outcome-based offers, signaling confidence, we're going to signal confidence. We're going to gain trust way faster. And we're going to have a lot easier time converting people because, again, we're focusing on the thing that they want. Anybody who wants something and you can project the confidence and certainty that you're going to give it to them will follow you wherever you want to take them. All right. So first impression psychology is a real thing, by the way. First impression psychology. When you get on that, when you write that ad, when you create the words, when you get on that call, the first impression psychology is incredibly powerful. When you start a relationship this way, as an advisor, you retain clients much longer. They don't want to lose that mentorship. They don't want to lose that advisory. So clients have better overall outcomes. All right. Does that make sense to you guys? We tracking so far? Is this fun? You having a good time? Sherry, give me a thumbs up. I loves it. We got the yups coming in. We got makes sense. All right. So the question is, okay, so really we're on the same page as far as the psychology. How do we do this? What is the tactical approach to doing this? Aaron Odessa giving me the what's up? I like it. All right. So I'm going to give you some tactical things to do. Now, there are two things that I've highlighted and read on the next slide. I want you to note these down because these are important. One of them is a mechanism within the technique, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is what outcome will you deliver for your niche, okay? So outcome, and this is kind of obvious because we've been talking about outcome. So define the outcome. Is it leads? Is it appointments? Is it shows? Okay, how far down the sales funnel are we going to get? By the way, the better you get at this, the closer to the sale you're going to be taking your customers. Okay, that's number one. What outcome are we going to be delivering? How many leads, appointments? Yep. What triggers billing? That's important. What triggers the billing? What triggers the money? What triggers the handshake deal? Okay, what triggers? And that has to be clear, and you have to anchor to the trigger. And then what's the price? And price is just value. Okay? What is value? Value is when you have a unique problem and you can solve it. All right? If you're solving the same thing as everybody else, then they will shop you. Most high-level agencies, when they sell just high-level, here's what they do. They understand at some point in time, oh my gosh, I have the same offer as everybody else. So what do? They stack on more stuff. Now I do this. Now I do this. Now I do this. Every time they talk to somebody, they're like, oh, well, we do this too. What do they end up with after about 6 months? An overwhelming, complicated mess. Okay. So price and value are linked in. Step number one is we go through this process. What is the outcome? What's the trigger? Step number two is how do we say it? What are the words that we're going to use? Is my internet okay, by the way? Whenever I get on like a big thing like this these days, it's kind of iffy. Well, guys, I'll do my best. This is recording, so my bad. But deal with it for just a moment here. There's not much I can do about it. Okay. Step 2, create your offer-based proposition. Now, I don't care who says it, but if anybody says that a script is not like a really important thing for your sales, those people are stupid. Okay. Doing a different sales conversation every single time, not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. You want to say the same thing every single time. Why? Well, there's a lot of reasons. By the way, this is another reason why you must have a niche, because the patterns, the conversations that you're going to be having with people will become identical. The conversations that you have, so long as you have a very specific niche, become identical. That means that closing sales calls and doing all that kind of stuff gets really predictable. Okay, we're going to go through this here in just a second, but this ties into a lot of what we talk about here in UpHex, is making sure that you have a winning advantage, and that starts with a niche audience. I think I will do a niche audience workshop later this month. So let's look at how we position this a little bit differently. Okay, so by the way, this is at the end of your sales call, just kind of for some context here. All right, look, free trials are not the best way for us to help businesses who actually want a result. You want a result, don't you, Doc? Don't you, Mr. Roofer? Don't you, whatever? Okay, so instead of delivering, I'll deliver a measurable result for you. I'll get you 10 booked appointments, not leads, before we formally install and give you access to our system. Okay, the only thing I need from you is to cover the ad spend, which is minimal, which is a minimum of $40 a day. And I always layer in, I didn't put this here, if you can't do $40 a day, we're probably not a good fit for you. I always say that kind of stuff, because they're not, first off, and second off, it positions you once again as confident. Okay, I should have put that in there. Okay, we're investing our time and expertise into making this work, and you'll cover the ads, and that's just part of our deal. All right, once we hit this result, okay, 10 booked appointments, we'll just enroll you in our $997 per month program. And after seeing success, we simply ask that you share your experience with other colleagues. Okay, it's just a simple pay it forward for the value that we will be providing you by doing this without getting paid up front. Fair enough? Okay. And I'll whatever questions you guys have, if you want budget questions, I'm going to do questions at the end. Okay. We cool on this? Can you guys see how we're positioning this differently? Okay. All right, cool. By the way, this is the free delivery prompt. I'm going to give this to all of you guys. If you want to take a screenshot, you can, but I will give you access to a document that has this so you can copy and paste it. But this is the prompt that you will be able to assemble your own free delivery script at the end of your pitch. Cool? We good to keep moving? All right. All right, so let's go ahead and do a couple of examples. We gave you the steps. We gave you the prompt. What does this look like in real life? All right, so I just grabbed a couple of ads from the library, the UpHex ad library, which, by the way, if you're new to UpHex, we have over 1,500 proven ads, okay, that you can access and that are client ready. So if I was going to the dental niche, look, okay, free trials are not the best way for us to help businesses who actually want results. I'll instead deliver a measurable result for you. Let's say I get you 10 qualified leads within the next 7 days. No charge on our side until we deliver. The only thing I need from you is to cover the ad spend, which will be a minimum of $40 a day. Anybody who can't spend at least $40 a day isn't really that serious about growing or admin costs, all that. We will cover that until you get those 10 qualified leads. And then after that, you'll automatically be enrolled into our program. And here's the thing, after seeing this success, the only thing that we ask of you is that you reach out to colleagues and people just like you and share that success with them. We grow our business by word of mouth and by working with people just like you. Fair enough? Great. I went a little off script, but because I've done this before, that's what I would say. All right, real estate, it's the same kind of thing, right? I'm not looking to offer a free trial or demo because that doesn't show you any real results. Instead, here's what I'll do. I'll deliver your first open house and I'll make sure we engage at least 3 potential buyers, no charge for my services until we hit that goal. Somebody walking around in my backyard. Some dog. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're positioning ourselves completely different. Does this make sense, you guys? Are you seeing the difference that we're like the different picture that we're painting here? I don't understand. Okay, but okay, I want to make sure, Dimitri, do you really not understand? Or are you being funny? Okay. Okay. What question then? Where are we? I want to know how you are doing this. I'm showing you right now. Okay. What question? How can we clarify this? What do you need to know? Yes, go ahead, unmute.
Yeah, hey, yeah, I'm just a little bit confused about the difference with this compared to a free trial because the wording sounds quite like similar. Basically, they don't have to pay for your service until well, until a certain period has passed. So
Okay.
that's why I'm a bit confused why this is
I'll give you
different
an
for
answer that
free.
will make it really clear for you. Okay. There are semantics to it. However, the one big difference, number one, psychology. This is different. Just the psychology of it makes it completely different. And this is the end of a sales presentation. And the way you do your sales presentation, like an MVP, we give everybody the Genie pitch deck, which you guys, that's tomorrow, by the way. We're going through the Genie pitch deck. We give everybody the Genie pitch deck. This is at the end. But the big thing here is when you say we'll give you a free trial, a 14-day free trial, it's not very conditional. When you set up a trigger, let's say we'll do your first open house, right? When we hit that trigger, we make the money. We had somebody doing this in the med spa space, and they would do a free delivery offer, and they would start on average. They would start their actual paid customers in 48 hours. You
I
got to you got to link it. You have to have a trigger. That's why I put on slide whatever that was. Uh, you have to have a trigger. Okay. So when you make it conditional and when you present it this way, it is both psychological and it is also tied to a trigger, which is why your outcome that you're going to deliver is important. Okay. So if you're doing things that are going to take you a month, you probably not want to do that. Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me now. So they're gonna have the results that was promised before they pay anything. Whereas in a typical free trial, it's just like, okay, we're gonna do this for a bit, and there's
Well,
no idea of what they're gonna get.
you know that
So
the
they're,
other real, yes, you're right. But the other thing is in sales and in communication in general, a tactic known as a tactic blown. Okay. You do not want behavior that looks like everybody else's. So when you offer a free trial, they're going to treat you like everyone else who has done a free trial for them. You guys, I told you at the very beginning of this is as much psychological as it is tactical. It is more psychological than it is tactical. We do have that trigger mechanism in there, but you have to even yourself put yourself in the advisor role, right? Hey, here's what we're going to do. As the advisor, we're going to make sure we're going to anchor my conversation to the result that you want. When you do a free trial, you're anchoring the conversation to your tool. That makes you a feature and process based thinker. It's not good. You need to become an outcome and offer based thinker. Martin, go ahead.
Yes. And so on the script that we're looking at here, in the outcome-based proposition, so is this something that we say on a call? Is this something that we say in an email? Like, where is it? I'm just trying to like frame it scenario-wise of how the approach would be when approaching like a new prospect type thing.
Yeah, how you use this is semantics in some sense, meaning your price point, your experience, your results, where you're at in your journey. These all have to be used in context, right? I know some people who can actually close without a sales call. One, because their ticket price is lower, and two, because they have a ton of results, right? And so they have these terms and conditions where you just sign up. But most of you are going to be using this on a sales call. Your expectation should always be, and this is the evolution of your business. If you're going from free trials, you need to be talking to your customers. All of your results will get better by talking to your customers. And so this is going to be used either on a sales call or you're going to be using it on a demo with the pitch deck. Okay, Don.
Yeah, Sam, I'm just wondering, just from a mechanics point of view, on any of these examples, are you just literally setting up the sub account, running ads for the person, giving them access to it? I mean, what are you physically doing to get those results?
To deliver the results?
Yeah.
That's, are you talking about like setting up admin and all that, like A2P and all that kind of crap?
Yeah. In other words, are you actually creating their account for them and running
Yeah, it
ads
takes
for
2
them? So
seconds to do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that is you're literally setting things up for them and you're starting to run ads for them.
Yeah. I mean, starting to run ads for them takes no time at all.
Yeah. So that's what you're doing. And so you're actually just basically operating for them and then turning around and showing them the results and giving them access to the system to show them those results.
Yep. That's what
Okay.
you're doing in a free trial too. This one is
Right.
just, this one just has guardrails on it. This one has a different positioning on it as well, right?
Right.
A lot of people use free trials right now and they just go into the dumpster. So you do all that work and then they don't close.
Yeah. But I mean, you're kind of holding their hand right off the bat to make it happen, to make the result happen.
Yeah, and we say at UpHex with 2 to 3 ads, you can have a $1 million business, right? Like with 2 to 3 proven ads, you can run and get results for anybody, and they'll pay you money, right? The problem becomes is when you start selling things that you're excited about, but they're not excited about, right?
Yeah.
And I saw somebody post the other day that they're doing review automation for somebody, and they're charging them a lot of money too. And I know exactly what's going to happen in a month. They're going to cancel, right? And so they're going to be a turn and burn operation by like just crazy. So was there another question here?
Got it.
And we're not quite to the end here, so I'll hit the pause button. I just wanted we did have somebody that was not clear at this point, so I wanted to stop, get clear, and then we move forward. Okay, so it's all about positioning. All right, make sure we're good. All right, so your next steps, okay? How to actually deploy this. One, for this to work, you got to have a niche. You've been hearing me talk about this stuff for a long time. You got to have a niche, okay? You then use the prompt that we gave you that I will give you here in a second, okay? You define what outcome makes most sense for you. And I got a little something for you guys to help you out, okay? And then you practice that script. And by the way, you do the script and you adapt and you modify that script until you know exactly what's going to happen as soon as you present it. Okay. So anybody, by the way, you guys want to know a quick little sales trick? Get a partner who's good at sales. Like, honestly, this is the fastest way to make a lot of money. Most of you come in and we actually did in fact, give me a 1 in the chat if you are a sales driven person. Give me 1 in the chat. If you are an operator or back-end person, give me a 2. There's a 1. We got the 2s. We got the 0.5. You got to pick a lane, 0.5. 1 and 2. You got to pick a lane, 1 and 2. The 1 and 2s, by the way, there's a guy right now in our MVP program who I am actually going to have a talk with later today. I'm like, dude, the only thing that is keeping you from making millions is that you don't have a number 2. This guy is good. He's crushing it, but he goes like this, right? I would not be where I am today had I not found my partner, Jacob. Okay. He is so good and proficient at that back end that it lets me lean full tilt into the front end. And that's why I become obsessed with psychology and all the stuff that I do, because I don't got to worry about any of that stuff. Don was asking me about fulfillment. I'm like, you know what? You know how many customers I've onboarded in my 10 years as an agency person, Don? This many. None. I wouldn't know how to do it. Don's like, do you create a sub account? I'm like, I think that's what they call it, right? Okay, I'm being a little facetious, but that's the point. Is you want a sales trick or a growth trick? Find a partner. Okay, and for all you people who are scared of it, get over it. Like for real, you need to. All right. What do you think about VA salespeople? They suck. All right, let's keep going. All right, you guys, has this been valuable so far? Let me know. Has this been valuable so far? You guys getting some juice out of the squeeze here today? Hell yeah. Once, I didn't even ask for one, but you're giving them. I was going to ask for one. We got the Rocky cover mark. Awesome. Here's one thing to keep in mind. And if you decide to get a tattoo this weekend, okay, maybe like consider getting this on your body somewhere. Your sales and your ability to close match your level of certainty in your product and service. You want a sales hack? Get better. That's why I do these. Okay. That's why we have a coaching program. That's why I publish content. That's why I answer as many of your questions in the Facebook UpHex community as I possibly can. You got to get better. If you want to make money, it's not out there in shiny object land. It's inside. It is your skill. It is your understanding. It is your ability to understand your customers. Become a passionate prospect. I need a P word that talks about going after people. Researcher doesn't work, but you guys get the point, right? If you want to know the number one thing that will make you a ninja, it has become much more certain about your ability to perform. Okay. You guys like this little AI Sams? They're kind of fun, right? I use Flux, by the way. Well, Jacob trained Flux, and then I just type in what I want, and then I use Flux. All right, so the real question is, here's the real question. How confident are you? Now, you don't have to put this in the chat. If you want to send it to me directly in the chat, I don't mind. On a scale from 1 to 10, how confident are you in your ability and your certainty to perform an outcome for your customer? If it's a 9 or 10, you're good. Keep coming to stuff like this. Keep moving forward, right? If it's a 7 or below, and I left 8 out because, I think 8 is a fudge-worthy number, and you need to decide this for yourself, okay? If it's a 7 or below, first off, I applaud you for being honest. Look at all these people. You guys are by the way, and you're putting it out to everybody. That is awesome. That is awesome. Okay. I need a sales partner. 10. I missed the 00000. There you go. Yeah, my dude Edwin. Edwin, we're going to do a class on rebilling. If you're a 7 and below, here's one thing I would like to ask you guys. It's a simple invitation, okay? Because success is often achieved with help. You can go at it by yourself, or you can go at it with people. I think that a lot of time it makes sense to go with people. I would encourage you and invite you to set up a strategy session with Team UpHex. Okay? If you'll give me 5 minutes, I'll talk to you about that, and then we'll do a Q&A. Is that cool? You cool with that? All right. Thank you. So when you set up a strategy session, here's the kind of people that we really do well in terms of us being able to help you. Okay? If you can follow a plan, we can help you. If you like to do your own thing, which by the way, I say that in my MVP program, you've heard me say this before, the ladies in the group, kudos. You follow plans really well. The gentlemen, you only really follow the plan after you've been kicked in the digital nuts hard enough to where you're like, okay, maybe I should just do what they say. That's the real. So, and you know what? It's okay. I'm no different, whatever. Okay. If you can commit time to doing this, if you're not lazy, basically, we don't work with lazy people, doesn't help. Okay. If you're willing to sell one thing, shiny object syndrome is killing more businesses than you can even imagine. And it's mostly because you're looking around for shiny objects that are in the sense you think are your irresistible offer. That's not how it's done. Okay. You do need an irresistible offer, but it's not by adding shiny fancy. Okay. And people who are of the mindset of, I'm going to invest money to save my time. When you invest money in yourself, by the way, there's something psychological about you investing money in yourself where automatically you're like, you know what? I invested in me. Other people will invest in me. I heard that from my mentor like 7 years ago. And before that, I was like super cheap. I would never spend money on everything, on anything. And then I heard him say that, and I bought my first course. It's like, okay, $1,000 for a course. I paid with a check, by the way, a written check. Old school. All right. But for people who think like that, this is for you. And we'll help you build a 6-figure agency that's simple, proven, and profitable. And we can do it in just 30 days. Like we're going through a 30-day sprint right now. It's pretty fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a link, or give me 2 seconds here. Okay. Share this with you guys. We're not done yet. I will do questions in 2 seconds. I want to put this in the chat. All right. And I'm super fancy. Like I do my landing pages on Google Docs because, I mean, what do I care? It's a Google Doc. You guys know how to use a Google Doc, right? All right. So we got the link is in the chat. Now, we do have 10 sessions available this week. Everyone who does a booking session on that page, that Google document, I'm going to give you my agency AI growth kit. So that's the niche navigator, the UpHex ad critic, and the easy value builder. Plus, I did something kind of cool, you guys. You guys want to see what I did that's kind of cool? I have a GPT I call the Agency Price Navigator. And the reason I built it was because a lot of agencies don't know how to price, don't know what to price, don't know how to position. So I made this GPT and I gave it all this cool stuff. I have updated it so that it will now give you a free delivery close script. All right. So MVPers, if you want to go in, dump your niche navigator back into there. It'll give you your own free delivery close and off you go. For anybody who sets up a session, a strategy session this week, we'll make sure you get those. Plus, I'll give you the price navigator so you can get your closing script as well. So we're going to go ahead and go to questions. When you go to that Google Doc, by the way, you scroll down, the prompt that I said I was going to give you, it's there so you can copy and paste it. All right. The link needs access. Does it need something?
Yeah, you just got to open the permissions for a viewer, I believe.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. Oh, yep. And with link, can view. All right, you should be good. Does that work?
Yes, it's working, Sam.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, I had a emoji hand raised. Carlene.
Hi.
Hi.
So, thank you very much for all of this. Sam, one of my biggest challenges is prospecting.
Okay.
So what I'm doing now is cold calling because I have to do something, but what would you recommend is the best way to prospect? And if it is cold calling, do you actually give us a script?
Okay, so I was going back to find the screen that had it. So when you look at this screen, you see the thing that says Easy Value Builder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So I believe that you lead with a lead magnet, right? I'm kind of the same way. I don't like feeling beholden to anybody. I don't like to beg for anything. I want them to come to me. Okay. And so what the Easy Value Builder is, it's basically how to assemble a lead magnet on how to do that. And in fact, Carlene, if you send me a direct message on Messenger, I have a video that walks you through how to do it. Basically, when I put together a lead magnet, the one thing that I like to do that has always worked for me is Chet Holmes education-based marketing. You guys know, anybody know Chet Holmes education-based marketing? Okay, so Chet Holmes had a mechanism within that style of marketing called the smoking gun. Okay, and the smoking gun was a data point, a piece of research that would bring people in based on potential opportunity. So, for example, what niche are you in, Carlene?
I'm working with, well, the niche I'm going to be working with is conservatory roofing insulation.
Okay, what is conservatory?
I think in America you guys call it a sunroom.
Oh, a sunroom. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
over here we call it conservatory.
Yeah, so here would be an example. And when you go through the Easy Value Builder, it'll actually do this with you. But an example would be, we just conducted research and found the top 3 products that people are looking for in 2025 in their, whatever you said, in their
Okay.
sunrooms, in their
Yeah.
sunrooms. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I think so. Now I know what to give them when I find them. But I think what I'm asking is, how do I find them? And then when I find them, I reach out to them with this.
You
So
know,
it's the prospecting, getting in front of those contractors.
the easiest way, so there's the way I used to do it, and then there's new software that will help you do it. But you use carrier pigeons. I'm joking. Whatever method you can reach out to somebody, it doesn't matter. Okay. Whether that's calling. What I used to do is I would go onto Google, which, by the way, you guys, this is like a pro tip. Anybody who is already spending money on ads is an easy target for you. One, because they're buyers. Okay. Buyers buy. So if they've already bought from you, or if they're already buying, they will buy from you. And they're just out there, saying, hey, here I am. So go on to Google search and say, roofing companies in London. It sounds like you're from Mother England there, Carlene, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
so
confident.
Birmingham or whatever, right? And so just assemble your list. This is what I used to do back in the day. I would literally sit down, I would get a spreadsheet, and I would put the people down, I would put all their information, and I would just do it old school. And then I would reach out to them with a cold video. That was before I did all the lead magnet stuff. But now I would just call them up. I would say, hey, whatever, hey, Mr. Roofer, we just completed a piece of research. It's all about what people are looking for in 2025 when installing a solar room onto their home. We think you might benefit from it. Would you like me to send that to you? You can call them on the phone. For the person who asked about the VA salesperson, you get a VA to do this if you want to. Whatever. VA salespeople suck because they don't care enough about your business. Commission people suck because they only care about their commission. You need something in the middle, right? So the person who handles all of our sales in our MVP program, she went through our program. She's amazing. Like, she's a good salt of the earth person, and she gets paid as we grow together. So it's a good win-win kind of situation. Does that answer your question, Carlene?
Yeah, that does. Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you. And with the easy value builder, I presume I can just, because I think I've seen some of your videos on that, very helpful. So I can just type in there conservative, because you said to really niche down in some of the videos that I've watched. So the conservatory is the niche, I guess, or roofing, and then conservatory, then conservatory roofing insulation. So I thought that would be a good one for that reason, because it's sort of like niche of a niche of a niche of a niche. So I would then just use the Easy Value Builder to create the lead magnet, and I can just type in conservatory roofing insulation. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you already have the niche navigator, by the way?
I think so. That's familiar. I think I may have gotten that from one of your YouTube videos.
Okay. Yeah. Just make sure you get that real solid, and then all the other stuff will work out for you.
Got it. Thank you so much.
All right. So Martin, I'm going to answer your question here in a second, but the chat has been going for a while. I just want to make sure that we've got everything. Let's see here. Would you do cold videos still work today? Yeah, everything works, by the way. Whenever people say, oh, this is dead or that is dead, they're just terrible marketers. Don't love the product or know it. So that must be something up above. Let's see here. Let me go back. Thousands of money have been committed to shiny objects by me. Lonnie, you're not alone. Okay. I like this. Makes sense. Very good. Andrea. Edwin, open access. Oh, okay. Okay. This is all the people telling me I don't know how to share a Google document. That's good. The link. Okay, here we go. Easier to sell shoes to someone who's already wearing shoes than barefoot. That's right. Okay. Go ahead, Martin. If you want to unmute yourself, Martin, go ahead. You may.
Yep. So with UpHex as well, so when dealing with clients, 'cause I know there's a section where you upload a customer list, so you can run retargeting ads onto that customer list. Does UpHex work both well while on the retargeting, but also towards core traffic? Is there one do you recommend over the other when starting with?
Do you have a use case that you're trying to use this in? Because I have very specific, do you have a use case?
Well, more so, I don't know, for example, like for a home service client.
Well, let
for
me ask you
example.
this. Why do you want to do retargeting?
Well, like so basically for my client, they have about like 8,000 customers that they had like over time.
Okay.
But about like only about 500 or 1,000 of them are active. So I was gonna plan like at a whole campaign towards, let's say, like running, I don't know, get like $100 off of something, but using their 8,000 customer list and upload that list to run kind of like that $100 off campaign towards that list by using retargeting ads. So that was kind of the use case that I was thinking, but I wasn't sure if that was be best to do it that way or just to do completely cold traffic and just forget about the list and just try to target people with that. That's as an example, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason I was asking you that is because when we're dealing with local marketing, like a lot of the games, a lot of the rules that we follow are not the same rules that people talk about in the media buying space. Who knows what the metric frequency means? Anybody? Okay, so in Facebook, there's a metric called frequency. It basically is a metric that says how many times on average they're showing an ad to an individual person. Okay,
Right.
you know what that means? They're already remarketing. So
Oh,
remarketing is bullshit. It's a way to get your money. Now, would I do remarketing for a big e-commerce kind of thing? Yeah, I would do customer journey remarketing where I could create, these big audiences. But anymore, you guys, we need to kind of move ourselves away from thinking about targeting and different audience strategies and more moving into a holistic ad campaign strategy, right? So putting that many guardrails on an ad campaign just drives your costs up and does not necessarily um, uh, help local businesses, if that makes sense.
okay. So what I'm hearing is that even though they have this whole customer list in their, CRM, like uploading it really wouldn't make a difference. Just run it as if they never had the list and just
No, you can. I mean, you can do lookalike audiences if you want to, but a local, what kind of business is it?
it's a plumbing business.
Yeah, I don't need that. No, use email. You already paid for the traffic.
Got it. Got it.
All
Yeah.
right, Eddie. Guys, I'm going to dump the link for the document back in the chat so you don't have to scroll around looking for it. If you're interested, there it is again. Eddie, what's your question?
Oh, I didn't have my hand up, but I did ask a question earlier about what triggers the actual billing. Like, when you do a 14-day trial at the end of the 14 days, that triggers it and then it charges the card. How does that get triggered in this? Or is it manual?
Oh, it's manual. I mean, I'm sure a nerd could figure out how to do some kind of automated thing, but I'll give you the use case again. Like the med spa guy that was doing it, that was using UpHex, he would say, "Hey, I'm going to get you this many booked appointments." I think it was like 2 or 3 booked appointments. He's like, "I'm just going to show you how quickly." And for them, it was like, I want to demonstrate that our system works and how quickly it works. If I can demonstrate that to you, then we trigger your payment. Fair enough? And they could get results like booked appointments in no time at all.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's see here. Sam, nonprofit as a niche, is that a waste of time? What they're looking for are donors. Do you have nonprofit charity templates? I don't know. I doubt we have nonprofit charity stuff.
I think you got to be really careful on Facebook for that one.
Yeah, I've never done anything with nonprofits. Andrea, on Wednesdays, you want to go to Jacob's media buying class. Okay, Jacob would know all that stuff, and he could give you really actionable advice on that one. I'm not the best person for that one. People have to remember that these systems are built for people spending 100K a month on ads. Like the ads manager, the Facebook ad platform, is built for huge business, and so we have to play the game a little bit different. Okay. Let's see here. Martin again, and then Matthew. So go ahead, Martin.
Yeah. So I was just booking the strategy session, implementation session.
Yeah.
But it's asking for a password after you book.
That's awesome. Hold on.
Okay. It's for agency MVP powered by UpHex. It said password, but I have no password, or is that supposed to land on that page after you book?
Hold on here. It doesn't look, because when I click that button, let's see here. It looks like that. Is that not what you're seeing?
Yep. So I did that and I booked, and then the confirmation page just landed onto agency MVP, and it was asking for a password after, so I wasn't sure.
Okay. I don't know. As long as we, did anybody else have that issue? I'm sure you all have that issue if Martin did. Okay. Well, you should be booked in still. We should be good
Okay.
to go.
And
Okay.
would the bonuses come in an email, or is that like after the
You'll get them from Tammy. Tammy's
Tammy?
she
Okay.
wants to sit down with you, talk to you, and she'll make sure you get everything.
Awesome. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
You got it. Thanks, Martin. I look forward I look forward to Tammy talking to you. Matthew.
Oh, hi, Sam. Thank you very much for this webinar.
You're welcome.
Here, just a quick question. I want to know if this system will be suitable for restaurants.
If this system works for restaurants?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Restaurants are easy.
Okay.
Now, the trick with restaurants is, depending on the restaurants you choose, a lot of them go broke. So you want to make sure that you're choosing good ones, but really restaurants are, hey, I'm going to put out really good offers, which you can do with Facebook really easily. And then I'm going to build my texting list, right? That's about the whole thing. And then you create a customer loyalty program and bada bing, bada boom, you're making gajillions. Well, you're making an okay living. Restaurants don't make a ton of money. Okay. Need what things specifically? I don't know what that means. Okay. Let's see here. Matthew. Did you have a question, Matthew? Or okay, maybe maybe that was your question. Any other questions, you guys? Christian, you had a question.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
I got you, buddy.
Great. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah, this new free delivery thing versus the free trial, really, I kind of just clicked something in me about a week ago when I saw your email. And I actually had a buddy of mine call me yesterday and say that he's got a roofing contractor that's been in business for about 25 years. And I just pitched him like over the phone, like, hey, I'll run the ads for you for 2 weeks. And if you like it, then we can talk about continuing on a monthly retainer. And he's excited about it. He's ready to do the ad spend. My question was, I told him 2 weeks, and I told him it's going to be around $20 a day. But that was my question: is what you think is a good budget? They're going to pay the ad spend, but I want to make sure that I get them the results because it's my first time doing it.
Yeah, so part of doing this is setting good expectations. And I never wanted to be, so in my agency, I never would take anybody cheaper than $40 a day, right? It's just like, hey, if I wanted to get to a destination and it's a full tank of gas away, I need a full tank of gas. $20 a day ain't a full tank of gas, right? Now, it will be based on like the niche, you know what I mean? But what I've learned over doing this for a long time is, and actually, Edwin, what's your average lead cost in your agency?
Overall $12.
Okay. Yeah, mine was like $18. And I was in like the healthcare niche and I was going after these niche specific. I was kind of actually happy when it was right around there. I was hitting like the right spot. Right. And so then it's kind of like, well, how many leads do you want to get a day? You know what I mean? The average lead cost that we generate at UpHex across all of the niches, all of them, is $12 and something odd cents. Right. I would much rather a client spend $75 a day and be like, dude, I'm getting a lot of leads, than, hey, your system doesn't work and I'm only spending, $10 a day. It's like, dude, you're kind of positioning yourself for failure in a way. You're setting the wrong expectations, Christian.
Is
Does
it
that make sense?
Yeah, well, I
was-
I told him before, based on some old numbers, maybe that I'd seen mentioned a year ago or something, that 15 to 20 a day, or maybe somebody else had said something like that. So I was saying, you're going to be spending ad spend maybe $300 or $500 a month. But this is a big roofing company, $10,000 jobs and stuff. So I don't think it won't be like a problem to say what they need to spend. If it's higher, I just wanted to be sure
Let's,
to set the clear expectation. So
Ed, I think Edwin wanted to say something, but let me just give you, and within the context of this workshop, let me give you a little bit of proper positioning for that exact conversation, right?
Mhm.
So if I'm anchoring it to an outcome, I wouldn't give them the budget.
Mhm.
I would say, okay, we're both excited about this. Tell me what awesome looks like. What outcome do we want to see? I would like to see, boom. Okay, in order for us to do that, we're probably going to have to get about, 150 leads, whatever the math is. We're going to have to get about 150 leads a month. That's the good thing. And that equates to about $85 a day. So $85 a day should get us there. If you want to scale into that, I would recommend $50 a day to start. And then once we get proof of concept, then we bump up to 85. How's that sound? You see how, like, I'm just anchoring it around what's the target? Where am I going? I would always do that. When people ask me the budget, I say, well, first off, I never take a customer who spends less than $40 a day. They're just not a good fit for any marketing program. They shouldn't be spending money on anything other than getting their business affairs in order. That's number one. Number two is, tell me what kind of outcome, what are you looking to get? I anchor it right around that. They're like, well, it'd be really great to get, 15 spinal decompression cases a month. Okay, 15. Okay. 15 is not going to happen in your first 2 months. Okay. We have to build up a pipeline. But once we've built up the pipeline, we could probably do that for math, whatever math is. You're going to be looking about $75 a day. Okay. So, and by the way, just so everybody knows, the average lead conversion time, and sometimes I cite things that I can't reference where I got them from. They're just stuck in the head from doing this for a decade, is 42 days. The sales cycle to convert for a service-based business to convert a lead into a paid customer is 42 days. What does that mean? That means as you add leads upon leads upon leads, by the time you get 6 weeks in, you have double the amount of leads and you have leads starting to convert. So 3% of the leads that are going to convert, just because that's what the conversion is. Now you have that plus the sales cycle leads. And you go 90 days in, that's where you really start to stabilize your business. Most businesses don't get to that 90-day period because they have poor expectations, they're not spending enough, and they don't understand the general nature of what marketing does in their business. Marketing is supposed to establish first a finding pool of prospects who know who you are and who have raised their hand that they're interested. If you treat it like it's a vending machine, it's not going to be good, right? If I was building a finding pond, I would go down and I'd grab my fishing pole and I'd be fishing there, right? Maybe I'd catch something, maybe I wouldn't. 3 months in, I've let the fish kind of spawn and do all their stuff. Now I'm catching regular fish, right? That's what you have. You have to give that idea and that belief, that expectation to your customers. If you do, they become your partner and you don't become a vendor, because you've unlocked for them what marketing is really supposed to do, which is advance the sale, build the finding pool. Make sense?
Yeah, that's
All
good.
right.
Thanks.
I'm going to look real quick. I'm going to look in the chat. Let's see here. Is there a chart for that? Like leads and amount of average. So the client has a vision of 15 leads. I don't understand. Is there a chart for what? Should I make an ad spend calculator? I could do that easily.
That'd be helpful.
Here's a simple calculator. Really, you should be spending about what this is like unwritten rule, what your CPM
Yep.
is. So if your CPM is $60, you might want to be close to that 60.
Dude, what's your CPMs?
Oh my gosh, they're everywhere. It depends. Because we
Yeah,
even
which by the way, that's why
niched.
that's why UpHex is so dope, is
Yeah.
because you can run all your ads and we aggregate your CPMs across your entire agency. And so now you're like, oh my, because our CPMs were $18, right? Like they just hovered around there for everything. And so $18, that's why I said $40 a day, because I want you to get at least 2 leads a day. And it's not a vending machine. Some days you go without, like some days you go down the pond and you get nothing. Some days you get 5. All right. Yeah, so I could put together an ad spend calculator. I would imagine the average CPM cost across all of UpHex is probably, I don't know. I'd have to look. I wonder if I have to have that data. How do I not know this? I should know that. Oh, CPM is cost per millennium. So when you buy Facebook, so Google, you buy per click or for keyword, like for keywords. For Facebook, you buy thousands, you buy ads or you buy marketing space in groups of 1,000. Okay. So they're going to give you 1,000 eyeballs. You pay them $20. And every time they do that, that's what makes Facebook so incredible, by the way. What other business can you get in and you can say, hey, Mr. Dentist or anybody else, if you wanted to get seen by 2,000 people tomorrow, how would you do that? Well, I don't know. I can do it for you for $20. You want to do that? That's when you get big perspective on what we actually do here, you guys, like the power of paid ads, why this model is the best, which by the way, I love high level. It's great. It's fine, but it doesn't work without leads. Your chatbots, your voice, that stuff doesn't do anything if you don't give it fresh leads. Just how it goes. So everybody who's so excited about all these other shiny objects, AI is dope, you guys. I use it all the time. I use it to make this presentation, by the way, obviously. But you have to know how the entire game works. Okay, Martin, what's your question?
Yeah, just 3 here. So the first question, so for the CPM, so let's say if someone's CPM is like $20. Sorry, I just wanted to get an idea there. Like, how is that related to ad budget? So if a CPM is like 20, so should my CPM per day, sorry, if my CPM is like 20, right? $20. So should the amount of money should I be spending like double that then? Is that how it goes, like roughly, or how
Okay.
is it? That's where I got lost and
I'm going to give you a simple answer, and then I'm going to deconstruct the answer for everybody, okay?
Okay.
So the simple answer is spend your CPMs daily so you can get 2 leads a day.
Okay, I'm gonna note that.
Okay. Now, here's what the math looks like. Now, I got this, by the way. Soapbox Sam, here we go. Watch out. Here I'm coming. When we had our published case study, we were running 3 campaigns, 2 broad and then 1 very niche specific. The broads made no money. They made no money. The specific, the niche, made all of the money. Okay. Validated by Facebook. So what did I do? I said, well, if the money comes from that thing, I'm going to lean into that. And we developed a formula called the qualified lead formula. It is the reason why UpHex, our ads out of our library, why so many of you guys just pull them off and they win. It is the reason why UpHex beats all of the competitors. Not only because we keep things specific, but because we actually did this. You know, there are other people who build tools like this, but they didn't run an agency. They didn't deal with customers like you guys deal with customers. They don't know how to get ROI like we know how to get ROI. So here's the formula. You ready for the formula? You know what? Should I put it in the chat? You guys can write this down. It is a 2, come on, Sam, 2% CTR all, a 1% LCTR, LC, yeah, that's right. Oh, I got to put the percent in. Percent CTR. And then between a 10 to 20% conversion rate. That's the formula. Okay. I'm going to break that apart. So imagine that the entire thing is a pie. Every time we buy 1,000 eyeballs, we want to divide it that way. Okay. Because it means that there's enough of a good offer that advances people who are interested, but there's enough friction where we're keeping out the bullcrap stuff. Like Groupon style offers, that's going to get you a higher click-through rate all, and a higher link click-through rate, and a higher conversion rate. But it's cheeseburger traffic.
Mm.
Okay? So when you guys go into the UpHex ad library, they're built on top of this. Now, we got something coming out. I think it's coming out this week. I always get in trouble. Next week, it's coming out next week, where we're actually going to give you guys direct access to not only the performance algorithm that we've developed, but our grading system. So you'll be able to go, I want to create something for somebody had something that was weird, whatever, your nonprofit thing. I don't know about that. But you could put it in there and it will create the ad for you, and then it will give you a grade. And it will say, oh, you got a C. It will say what to improve. You improve it. You grade it again. Oh, you got a B, you know? And I don't think it's A, B, C, D. I think we have a different rating system. The best, I think, is going to be called a unicorn. We got a lot of unicorn ads, by the way, in the UpHex ads library, which is awesome. But there you go.
So so CTR's click-through rate. What's LCTR?
Okay, so click-through rate all means all of the clicks that happen, all of the engagement, all the clicks that happen on the ad. And really what it's referencing is your ad creative, so your image, okay, or your video. But let's just keep it simple for this, your image, okay? Your LCTR is link click-through rate. They either click a link in your ad copy or they click the call to action button. Okay?
Okay.
And then the conversion is they opt in.
Okay, I see. Just out of quick, because I think last time when I checked, so I have a client that's like a line painting business. What do you recommend for that? Is it the same thing? Spend at least $40 a day for that person to line? Because honestly, people don't get line painting done unless it's like urgent, you know? It's
What is
not
line
like,
painting?
so like, you know, when you go to like a mall, you go to a plaza and there's like lines on the parking lot, like yellow lines.
Yeah, but that's B2B.
Okay, so what did even?
I wouldn't, so just so you guys know, B2B is more of a sales development game because B2B is not like the nature of us going B2C is why we can scale ads better, right? If we want to go B2B, it's really hard for me to go B2B. I mean, you could. There's, you know, if you're in like huge metro areas, whatever, with a lot of, it's just not a great business model.
It's not. Okay. And the last thing was, did you have any like pharmacy ads at all? 'Cause I know you have a lot of healthcare ones, but like pharmacy ones.
Pharmacy.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh, like for running ads, like for, I don't know, like for pharmacies, for example.
Pharmacies for what? You got to be more specific for me.
Yeah, like a retail pharmacy, basically like an independent pharmacy, for example. So, like,
Why would you run ads for a pharmacy?
well, there's certain like services for
Like what services?
So like one of them is like being able to prescribe for like minor ailments. So for example, if I'm like, I don't know, there's like things like acne, you know, for example, just like little things that you don't have to go for a doctor for. But like so like things like acne, like UTIs, like insect bites. So basically just to being able to get eyeballs to know that a pharmacy like does this essentially.
I think everybody knows what a pharmacy does. Like if I had my kids and they had acne, I would call the doctor, right? So there's a lot of people get excited about their sale. They lose their sale because they don't ask people what they want. The other thing is most sales are lost due to assumption. If the
Right.
market thinks they know or whatever, they're just going to ignore your ad. So if there was a pharmacy that has some kind of unique angle, I used to work with a urgent care, right?
Right.
And the way we worked with urgent care is because the urgent care was paired up with, it had a chiropractic clinic next door. And so we would do neuropathy specific marketing for that business, but people were going there because neuropathy is very specific, like ailment. But it's like, am I going to run ads for a grocery store? No.
Right, right. Well, one of the things like compounding, like because pharmacies are able to compound like medications, like personalized to
Okay,
them.
but compounding is a process. You don't sell compounding. What you sell is GLP-1s. What you sell is peptides. What you sell
Right.
are things that people, that's where you got to get down to the niches.
Oh, okay. So that's why adver
Nobody gives a flying fart about compounding pharmacies.
right. From a consumer point of view, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't care about it.
So it's not even point. It's pretty. So unless if you're like a CVS or a Walgreens that like very big, makes sense to run ads for them because they're not just a pharmacy. They have like the grocery section. They have
I would not
basically.
run ads for a CVS. That would be weird.
Oh, they run ads though. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
but they run ads themselves, and they're running it because their shareholders are like, you got to do advertising. The advertising sucks. It's like, I mean,
Oh, okay.
it
Okay.
is to me like who is Mr. X? Mr. X, Mr. X. Come on, guys, tell me, who am I thinking of? Old copywriter wrote the Mr. X letter. Anyway, I can't remember right now, but he says sometimes the best way to sell a horse is say horse for sale. All right, it's like, I mean, I got to find motivation. You sell people who are motivated.
Mm,
I'm not, and if I have a UTI, can the guy get a UTI? He's got to be able to get a UTI, right? Furman's like, yeah, I know from experience. Thank goodness I've never had one. But if I had a UTI, I'd go down to the pharmacy. I know. I'd get on Google. I'm like, UTI, what do I do for this? But I wouldn't respond to a Facebook ad. Sell cranberry juice. That's right. All right.
okay.
Any other questions? This is good stuff. Where do I find more on your training? Andrea, go set up a strategy and implementation call. That's where you can ask any question you want. And by the way, if you go to that call and you're like, hey, Jay Abraham, thank you. Man, that was going to bug me all day long. You'll get a lot of value just out of doing that. And, Tammy's awesome. You think you learned a lot here? You ain't seen nothing yet. Do you recommend running ads ourselves to prove out an ad if you're new to a niche? Yeah, I do. I don't shoestring your life. Okay. If you're getting into this and you really want to build a business, there's a lot of ways to do it. So first steps are invest in yourself. Your ignorance is going to be your stumbling block. You thinking that a narrative, like when you came in, like I know a lot of you guys come in because High Level is an affiliate driven marketing program. Okay. And because of that, affiliates sell products in a very affiliate driven manner. That is the nature. And so when they're selling you a particular narrative, the biggest stumbling block you have is getting over that narrative into a more clear picture of what the business is actually supposed to do. Okay. And businesses only buy solutions, they buy relief from a current place of where they're at. Right. And so for you to be able to do that, I think it makes a lot of sense for you to prove first in your skills. And then second, vote with your wallet. I think it's a great idea, but partner with somebody, let them reap the benefits of it. Okay. We had this is going back to Delroy. Yeah, Delroy. So we had a person in our program a couple months ago who went through our program, created her ads that were she created the ads following our process. And when I saw them, I said, oh, Lisa, dude, that's a 7-figure agency right there. Run those ads. Because I've been there. I've done that. I know when I see something, I'm like, yep, do it. That's a winner. And so she did it and she built her agency up really fast. Okay. But you need the confidence, you need the certainty, you need like boots on the ground. Don't ever sell anything. Be transparent and honest with your customers, by the way. Right? If you haven't gotten any results for something, you can say things like, hey, the ads that I'm using have an algorithm that predict their performance to a 2-1-10. You tell them the 2-1-10. We do predict the performance. Okay. And these all have a good rating. Here's how they work. Now, I haven't run them for anybody, which is why I'm offering you a free delivery proposition. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to flip these on. I'm going to do all of the labor. You're going to pay for the ads. As soon as this thing produces X, then you and I know it works together, and I'll start providing you this service so you can do whatever. Right? Okay. Can you describe Niche Navigator and where to find it? Brett, the Niche Navigator is basically, it's a way to position, it's a way to, so a lot of people think that when you pick a niche, you're just picking a small audience. That's part of it. And the story I always give is like the way I learned this was as a loan originator back in the day, I was 24, 25. I was a young kid and I was trying to get business and I was doing the same thing that everybody does. I was talking to all the real estate agents to send me business. They didn't want to send me business. Then one day I found a magazine and the magazine had a listing and the lady spoke Spanish. She did first time home buyers. And I was like, well, I know that she's probably not going to have a lot of people knocking on her door. So I called her up and I said, hey, I work with first time home buyers. Those are government financing loans, right? Nobody wants to do those. At least they didn't when I was back in the day. Okay. I also speak Spanish. So if you have anybody that's kind of getting, not getting the service and the help they need, I'd be happy to help you. Okay. I positioned myself so unique to that person that she sent me 5 deals that day and she fed me. I had a radio show in Caldwell, Idaho on La Grande, El Gringo Prestamista. I did a radio show once a month talking about mortgages in Spanish. So going back to whoever had the question on niche, it's picking a small audience where there's a demand and a need, but also positioning yourself within that niche. Okay. Jay Abraham was Mr. X. Yeah, that's right. Do you remember? Okay, we already asked that. I learned so much. Awesome. You guys, has this been valuable? Has this been a good time? Have you guys learned a lot? Do you guys feel like you can take this and implement this today? Awesome. Martin, you have another question?
I did, but I'm forgetting right now. So if I remember in the next 5 seconds, I'll let you know.
All right. So guys, the last subtle call to action I'll give you is if you want to set up a strategy session, go do it. You won't regret it. It'll be a good time. I mean, good time because Tammy's awesome and she does, she really helps a lot of people. And the MVP program that might be a fit for you is helping a lot of people as well. And will there be a replay? Yes, most likely there will be a replay. Hopefully the audio isn't terrible. That just ticks me off. I'll be calling 3 prospects with this offer. Decide by this time, pressure work. Yeah. In fact, we have a couple of advanced offer techniques that we teach that kind of fall within those lines. So there we go. What's the strategy call for to explain the MVP? The strategy call is, Nicole, you're already in Agency MVP. So the strategy we do to, number 1, help get clarity on where you're at right now. If you are a fit, there's 2 types of people. People who want to like get kicked in the digital nuts for a long time and do it themselves, that's fine. But at least you'll have clarity moving forward. Or people who want to have us help them do it with them. And that's where we'll extend an offer for you to become part of that program, which, Nicole, you're a part of it. So
I just remembered my question. This is Sam. So in terms of the ads, okay, for example, let's say if it was a nail salon. I remember the example that you just gave us earlier. You just, change the packaging, let's say for New Year's, change the packaging for Christmas or Valentine's Day and such. So after we make the wrappers for all those, related holiday seasons, how much management, I guess, from our side as the provider, to the client are we doing from there? Because basically we just provide them the ads, they can run the ads whenever they want. Is there any other things we have to do at that point in terms of, because if we're already providing the wrappers, they're already going to work. We don't really have to do that much unless we have to build out the back end, which is obviously you do and everything else. But other than that, there's nothing really much else, right? I think.
Well, you're getting a little ahead of yourself, right? So a lot of people, and you guys have heard me say this before, you don't create offers, you find offers.
Right.
Right. And so every niche is a personality.
That's right.
and they're all different. And your model will also establish what you do. Like I tell the story about how I crushed it in an orthodontist thing. I wouldn't have to do anything else except for that promotion campaign that I did, and do that over and over and over again.
Right.
Right. But if I'm doing nail salons, the nature of conversion in a nail salon, which by the way, it's probably pretty easy. But there are some niches that are more challenging, like, medical services, real estate, loans, that kind of thing. And when you're doing those, you have to think more strategically. Okay. And I can't just like pull out of my pocket, hey, this is the thing that you do.
Right.
Right. Now I can give you the ways to find that and the ways to find it quickly. And I can also give you cool tools that will help you assemble and find that quickly.
Right. Awesome. Thank you.
Greg, what's up, buddy? How are you? You have been a customer for a long time. Where can I go to learn about this delivered with your strategy? Let me see if I still got you talking about that, Greg? So just go click on that Google Doc. And it should have a link to get you there, man. Yeah, Greg, you've been around a long time, buddy. Thanks for coming. Carlene.
Hi, Sam, in one of your YouTube videos, you mentioned having some training on doing Loom videos for outreach.
Yeah.
Which video is that?
Oh man, that's been so long. It was years ago. I can find it for you. By the way, I think in circles. I just do. That's what I do. What I was going to say to you, white label suites. Remember what I was explaining? It was you, Carlene, that was asking me about prospecting, right?
Yes.
Okay. White label suites has a software. Now, hey guys, if you watch this video, I love you. You kind of sell your software in a weird way. The real value of that software is being able to do the process that I did, but do it like that. Okay. And so you can go into a roofing company or contractors, right? Solar rooms, whatever. And you can put that in the search and it'll pull up everybody and whether they're running ads, and you can just click buttons and it'll add them to an audience for you immediately. Right. So you don't got to go through all the pain that I went through. Okay. And then it is in terms of mine, it was Nick, my buddy Nick, what was it? Nick, old video. Yeah, this was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I did this video.
Would you say it's still relevant today?
Yeah, I would just do it with the tools that I told you, right? And there's also, man, anybody remember my buddy Nick? He actually got out of the agency game and went into real estate, but why can't I remember his name? And he did it with Jason Wardrop. Sorry, guys. Give me 2 seconds. I want to make sure we get this video. Oh, here it is. Watch them sell. Oh my gosh, 2 years ago. Of this video. Okay, here it is. I can probably go back through my YouTube channel and just remake all of my videos again, just to update them and make them better. But there's a lot of, I have over 300 videos there, so crazy. Oh, this video, Nick Robbins. Yes, that's him. Thank you, Christian. Yeah, Nick and I were actually head-to-head competitors for a long time, but I really respected him because he was a hustler like me. We were both getting after it, and we both did the same. Like we grew our businesses the very same. Now I think he was a better salesman than I was, but he's a great dude. We're buddies. Even though I can't remember his name, but that's just because I'm under the gun. You know, I know him. Geez, but yeah.
Thank you very much.
So there's a Google Doc script for that as well, I believe. Not I believe, I know there is one there. So any other questions? Just curious, do you mean like white label suite? I was looking at them for a client. Yeah, white label suite. So their software is really a data scraping. I don't think they call it that. but it's a data assembling software. And they want you to like white label it and sell leads to people. It's such a weird thing the way they say it. I'm like, dude, just sell the tool like it's, what is that one Gorilla one? It's basically that tool, right? And there's a lot of them, tools like that. I think those guys have a really good tool, and I will promote theirs over the other one because it does the exact thing that I used to do. And when I saw Johan, I was like, dude, you guys added the Google and the Facebook thing? Like they're running ads on Facebook? He's like, yep. I'm like, that's amazing. So there you go. But speaking of shiny objects, so that is a good one. And by the way, it's shiny objects to me. Does it serve a function, and does it add income? Is it Sonny, my mentor, would always call it like money making activity? Is it money making activity? Okay. So if I were to sit down and Carlene was going to sit down and she's going to do a Google search today, well, Carlene could spend the $60 or whatever their thing is a month, and she could get 20 times the output by using that software. Okay. You just have to be careful that over time, because I have done this, you look at, okay, what's inside my operations systems here and what am I using and what am I not using? Because at some point in time, Carlene will graduate out of video prospecting, right? And then she will move into running ads, because that's a way faster way to get customers, right? But the reason it would be a good thing, and we think about this in succession, okay? Don't spend money on ads to get clients until you've proven the offer that you're going to use to get clients. So we talked about the easy value builder. Okay. Make sure that that lead magnet actually is desirable by somebody before you spend money on it. So if you call them up, hey, these are the top 3 products that people want to see in their renovation jobs and what they want, blah, 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 and like make it specific and it's research based. And they're like, that sounds awesome. And then you call them back after they've consumed your lead magnet. They're like, that was really helpful. Thank you. If you can hit that frequency, throw ads at that thing and you will have a full pipeline, right? Now, as you do this longer, you don't do that. You just run ads every time and you start to kind of like, you almost start like, I could run an ad for chiropractors right now. I'd get them, no problem, right? Okay. Yeah, ads are more steady no matter what. I already have SaaS that people stop using. Sure. Martin.
Yes. So just in reference to the lead magnet and then just like running like ads on those, I don't know if you'd be able to go a bit like technical on that, where if I'm running ads, let's say to I don't know, let's say that chiropractors, right? I'm running that type of ad with a lead magnet. Again, is it still just broad targeting, or am I really being specific?
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Targeting is done by, so here's a way to think about this.
Okay.
All right. Write an amazing ad to chiropractors. All right.
Right.
Just focus on just write an amazing ad, and you'll be able to use the UpHex tool to do that here soon. Write an awesome ad, then take a screenshot of it. Dump that thing into ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, based on the ad creative and ad copy I've given you, who do you think Facebook will target? And it will go, "Brrr," and you'll be like, okay, I don't need to do any targeting. Targeting is going away probably within the next 6 months. And I mean, probably all of it. And
Oh,
the
wow.
good news is we've been saying this for years now. Like me and, UpHex, like our team, we've been saying, stop, like, it's demographics only targeting, basically. It's broad targeting. But your ad is the targeting.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And most people just create shit ads. And then they're like, well, Facebook doesn't work. It's like, no, it doesn't work for shitty ads. You're right. Shitty ads don't do well on Facebook. You're right. Right. You got the more dialed in your ad creative, your ad copy, the more it resonates and speak with me, which by the way, you guys have it so easy. You freaking just dump your copy into ChatGPT and say, I want to make sure this resonates really well with chiropractors who blah, 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 blah. Does it do it?
Right. So, but in terms, so do you think the only thing, if that's the case, the only thing we really have to be concerned about is the demographics, right? So making sure that, yeah, if any data that we had,
The only thing you have to be concerned with, don't think about targeting at all. The
oh,
only thing you
okay,
have to be concerned about is what are the emotional drivers that motivate my audience today?
right,
Okay, well, let's work through that process here just a little bit. What are chiropractors as it relates to marketing, digital marketers, what are they tired of? What would they, I mean, I would give my digital left nut if you would just say bleh. Sorry, Carlene and Tessa and any of the ladies on the thing. I try and not do that, but sometimes it just happens. What are the emotional drivers that I can tap into and then write an ad to that thing? That's going to convert like crazy. And that's going to position them. That's the first impression, right? That's going to position them. So when they get on that call, they are already reading off the same sheet of music that you're reading off of. Think of it like this. The market makes noise. You got to make music. And it is
That's a
all
good one.
like what do brands actually sell? A brand, what do they sell?
Emotion.
Yeah, but they're tied to specific emotions. Like what does Nike, why did Nike go so crazy when Michael Jordan became their brand? Because I want to be like Mike. It's aspirational. I want to be like Mike. Dude, the coolest people when I were growing up were Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, right? These were the cool people. These were the people that you wanted to be like. And so they wrote a jingle and it was like Mike, I want to be like Mike. That was because they were tapping into an emotion. That's what advertising is. True advertising is about tapping into the frequency, the emotion that's going to drive an audience, right? I've seen car ads appeal to having a better car than my neighbor. Yeah. 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 I remember reading a book about Bo Jackson back in the day. Yeah. My son's name, consequently, is Bo Jackson. So it's Bodie Jackson, but we call him Bo Jackson. But yeah, you're just if there's anything you can walk away in terms of the targeting is psychographic driven. It is not technically driven.
Right.
Anybody who talks about do this target, if they're talking about, don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. They went into some media buying group and read a post from 2016, like, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this. No, they don't know what they're talking about. Luckily, I get to observe thousands of ad campaigns every day. I can see what's working all the time, right? And so there's no fooling me. I know exactly what's working. So
Yeah. And is the ad creative, if I remember correctly, because the ad template, like the ad creative is also made in UpHex, right? I think it was the AI ad
yeah, we
creative.
have an AI generator now. We do. Yeah, and if you guys set up that people in MVP, you have the UpHex ad critic, right? That thing is trained on images like winning images from UpHex. The AI will also do the same thing, right? But
Yeah. Okay. And the images come out quite nicely as well, or is there a lot of adjustment that has to be made for that image?
they're pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay, cool.
I mean, it's AI, so it's getting better all the time. What about
Right.
custom audiences? Do you recommend using those once a client has been running ads with for a while? No, I do not. Custom audiences are a waste of money. You might as well just take whatever money you have. Hey, we were going to spend this on custom audiences. You just take that and drop it into the dumpster. So that's what I think about it. I'm being a little hyperbolic because I want to send home, don't do custom ad. I'll give you another example. We used to do this thing like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, called agency launch, and we'd bring people in. And one of the things that we gave to them was there used to be third-party data providers that would give you effectively a spreadsheet, so you could then upload it into Facebook, and have a custom audience of all the roofers in the US or whatever, right? Dude, every single time I would help somebody set up their B2B ads, open targeting would beat the crap out of the custom audience. And I started feeling like a little bit of a poser. I'm like, hey, you guys, we're offering this as a part of this offer we're doing, and it gets its butt. I look stupid right now. So you know what I did? I said, hey, open targeting works better. I'm still going to give you the spreadsheet. You're going to have the emails so you can cold email them. This is how you cold email them. Here's 3 templates you can use to cold email them. So I was still like, hey, you can still use it, but don't do it with ad targeting. Any layer of targeting you put on your actual stuff is 1, unnecessary, and 2, is a tax. Okay? It's an ignorant tax, and it's also a tax on your CPMs are gonna go through the roof. Probably Facebook already knows yeah, they absolutely know that. They know everything. They know everything. Probably somebody's going to open up their phone and see a Michael Jordan thing, on their phone as soon as we get done with this. That's just how it goes. All right. Any other questions? I'll stay on, you know what? I'll stay around as long as you guys want me to, but if we're done, we can be done. Hopefully this has been valuable. I'm going to drop the link in there one more time. Oh, wrong link. That's the YouTube link. I have a really cool video coming out on YouTube probably tomorrow of an UpHex agency. Soon, it's actually kind of funny. An UpHex agency brought a non-UpHex agency onto a call with me. It's a fun call. Which, by the way, I told the guy, I'm like, bro, you're making a lot of money doing it your way. You do it my way, you'll make millions. And he's like, okay, I'm going to do it. So this has been super dope. Do you do these monthly? Signed up for a call. Vivian, I try and do 2 of these like this per month. I try and do two of these like this per month. This is actually this particular workshop is the first time I've done this one. But normally I'm doing it on how to choose a niche and then how to build a lead magnet. So those are the 2 things to me. I feel like if I can help you guys get those 2 things in order, you can make whatever progress you're going to be able to make in a clear direction. And then, if it makes sense to work with us another way, then that's fine. If you can do it by yourself, that's okay too, right? That's great. You run the free delivery just with UpHex and their Facebook page, right? No high level, no A2P yet. That's a good question. I actually would do that. I would send their leads to a spreadsheet, honestly. But I understand this is kind of a confidence thing too, right? So just take that for what it's worth. So if I guarantee to deliver, for instance, 5 estimates to a landscaper, do I bring them into a calendar I set in high level? I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So if I guarantee to deliver, for instance, 5 estimates to a landscaper. Well, first off, if you're starting this, don't do estimates. Or I guess estimates are okay, so it would be leads then estimates. Yeah, that'll be fine. I mean, book it onto whatever calendar you want. I don't care. Okay, is there a script we can use for cold emailing to get clients on the phone, not the prompt you just sent us? Okay. The video that I put in for Carlene has a email script, a cold script for that. But I would say, just prompt AI, you're gonna get a better one. You guys know how to prompt? You guys know the 4-step prompt? Do we know how to prompt? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you guys I'm gonna teach you the 4-step prompt that you can use on anything. You guys wanna learn this? Yes? Okay. So step number 1 is you give AI a role. You are a pro cold email marketer. That's step number 1. 2, you give it context. So context is, let's see here. Who's asking me this? Who are we trying to cold email? I want to make this specific to whoever was asking. Michelle, is that Michelle? Yeah, Michelle. Real estate agents. Okay. Context. I am looking to get in touch with realtors about my what do you call it? Open house strategy, and need your expertise. Now, I would go even further. I'd give it more context, right? But we're just going to stop there so you guys know the 4 steps. So role context, and then the third thing is task. Okay. Create for me 4 high converting email templates to help me get 10 booked calls a week. Okay, and maybe in my context, I would say context, my email list I've scraped is 10,000 agents. All right, and then the last step is the most important step. Ask me any clarifying questions to execute or to achieve my goals. There you go. And then it'll ask you whatever questions, and the better the inputs you give it, the better outputs you will get from it. Cool? You guys have so many advantages. My gosh, I had to learn how to write shit. You guys don't got to learn how to write it. Well, you should, but I had to learn it. But that, I will say, the more you know, the more skills you are, the better you are. AI can do so much more for you. Okay, Martin. Martin, your emoji's up.
Yep. Yep. Sorry. So, okay. Sorry. I totally forgot now. I've been putting my hand up for a minute. It's okay. I'll figure it out. Thanks.
All right. Was there any other questions? Do you still do daily classes? Listen on UpHex, because that is where I logged in earlier for this call and realized it was not. By the way, when Sam is in charge of stuff, sometimes there's little cracks and details that I miss. So yes, Tuesdays are when I hold just an open call. But this one was a designed workshop. I should have canceled that, but I forgot. Whoops. Oopsie daisies. And I mean, I have an awesome team that could have done it for me, but I didn't. Whatever. Don't worry about it. All right.
I remember now.
All right, go ahead, Martin.
Yeah. So the Google ads that you also have within UpHex as well. Do you recommend using those as well, or just really just focus on Facebook? Because I know the Google Ads one was a recent one, right? And recent addition.
Yeah. So we won't have a grader out for Google for a little while. The ads produce just fine. Google is getting a little bit of a rework. And if I can be candid, I will say that the Easy Pages execution was not great by us. Our system is being used very successfully by people who have proven landing pages and know how to set up all their tracking and stuff. Our attempt to do the Easy Pages, we're going to go back and fix it. So I would say lean into, if you're already, the thing with Facebook is you can kind of be a brand new newbie with UpHex and go in and crush it.
Right.
I can't say the same thing for Google, and not because of the ads. It's because of the tracking and attribution once you leave. The ads are going to perform. That's not the issue. It is tracking and attribution for Google. So if you have a landing page that converts, and if you know how to do all the technical tracking and that kind of thing, sending traffic to that page from UpHex using our ads will work great. But if you're new, stay on Facebook.
Stay on Facebook. Okay. I see. I see. All right. I'm sure like too, I'm sure there's like a timeline for the rework of the easy pages or just pretty much just wait until an update happens through an email.
Yeah, it's actually, I don't think it's going to take us as long to fix it as I thought it was going to take us, but I don't like to do any of it. I always am like, dude, it's almost done. Just push it out. So we're not going to do that. So I don't know exactly when it's going to be done, but it's in the works.
Okay. Sounds good. Great. Great.
What about Google LSA? Yeah, Performance Max. That's LSA is included in. Yeah, LSA is now included in Performance Max. So we do LSA.
Do you also do display ads as well, or is it just
Included. Yep.
okay, display ads as well?
Yep.
Cool. Cool.
Search Performance Max. I mean, display is on the search network, right? I'm way more proficient on Facebook than I am on Google. But
Yeah.
I'm
So
pretty sure that display is on search.
yeah, there's the Google Search Network and then the Google Display Network. So the Google Display Network, I think, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly, it's like it displays on sites, on websites where they have ad slots and everything.
Yep.
So okay, so you do have that as well.
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
Would you start with Facebook over Google LSA for a client just starting with ads? Yeah, absolutely. If you have, here's the thing. And you guys have heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it again because repetition is good. If you have 2 to 3 really good ads, they will move mountains for you. They will move digital mountains and give you real, not digital, real money. Okay. And so really and we've had, again, when people come into our program, that's the one, I will say the one really cool thing about our MVP program is I get to do what we're doing here. Okay. But they'll bring on their ads and they'll say, hey, this is my niche. This is what I've been working for. And we'll work on those together. We can run through AI, but I can also be like, here's where you're missing the mark, right? We talked about emotion, like the emotion and the frequency. We reworked an ad last month and it was really cool because everybody got to see me rework that ad, right? And just, there's some things that now I will say, David, whose ad this was, he did all of the upfront work and did follow the process. He just missed one. He just connected the dots in the wrong place. But as soon as we connected those, everybody got to see that. And so I'm going back to the Facebook over Google. That's why. So getting your market and message just aligned and learning to do that. As soon as you can do that, all of it works. Right? All of it works. Do you use an email lead scraper? No, I don't. I'm old school. I believe in getting all my leads to opt in because then when I send them, now this is not, I shouldn't say I'm against it. I am not against it. I think there's a good way to do it. And I think there's a Me Too marketing way to do it, right? And so, Michelle, you're going to want to lean into your audience. You are going to want to know their pain points, and you're going to want to lean in with value first. And just really, and when I say lean with value, so to me, my friend Rebecca says value equals usefulness. And I think that is the best. I'm like, dude, that's the second thing I'm going to get tattooed on me. If the other one was you're going to close at the level of your certainty, that's number one. Number two is value equals usefulness. So you think to yourself, okay, I'm sending an email to a person that I don't know. What can I send? What can I provide to them that is useful? That makes the question a lot more actionable, doesn't it? Right? What would they find useful? And that, again, is audience research and just understanding who your customer is. TCPA 2, so best to do it that way. Get those opt-ins. It's illegal. Yeah. Oh, Telephone Consumer Protection Act. Yeah, but this is email you're talking about. That's what Michelle was talking about. But yeah, you gotta be careful about that. Them lawyers, they like to lawyer, they like to get paid. So that's actually a big thing. You guys be careful with your voice AI. Be very, extremely careful. That's the other thing that nobody like talks about. They didn't even talk about the risks that you could be walking into by using that stuff. Which, by the way, voice is cool. I think it has use cases. But do you know that like 95% of appointments are booked by chat, by text anyway? There you go. This was useful. Awesome. I prefer to get those opt-ins for sure versus scraping. Yes, thank you. Voice AI is risky. All right. Any other questions? Thanks for everything, James. What's up, my dude? Glad we'll see you tomorrow. We have a man. Our one tomorrow. Fun. Which, by the way, anybody in MVP, we're building pitch decks tomorrow. It's gonna be awesome. Let's see here. I made a promise to you guys at the very beginning. And I'm trying to see. It's down between Christian, Michelle, and Martin. All right, Martin, I think you win the t-shirt. Go ahead and send me a direct message on Facebook and I'll get you a t-shirt. All right. Hey, you guys, if you guys want your own t-shirt, you want to shell over $20 so you can have awesome gear like this, you know, it's pretty dope gear, I think. Just what is the website? I'll give it to you here. We could all be like hanging out together, wearing cool shirts together. I mean, that would be fun. Don't you think that'd be fun? Eric, go buy a shirt. They're like $20. I took like no money on them because I want people to buy them. All right. Thank you guys for coming. Hope to see you guys on our other workshops. Hope to see any of you who are interested in our MVP program. And for anybody, if you have questions, whatever, I'm hanging out in the Facebook group as much as possible to help you guys. And for everybody in MVP, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.